Alright, we are live. For real this time. Woo!
Yay.
So just adjusting some volume things here real quick, and we should be all good to go. So tonight we're going to be playing some RymdResa. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's, I think, Swedish for space journey, or like a space trip. It's a chill game. I've had an emotionally draining day. I'm tired. I'm just going to float through space and read some really crappy spoken word poetry. Anyways, I'm Josh, or Bograt.
I'm currently drinking some Scorch. I'm also Vincent.
I'm Dan, also known as the Krampus.
I'm Mackie, or Emperor Shiv.
So, let's get things rolling. You're hearing some background noise, by the way. That's the AC running, but it's hot as hell, so we're not turning it off. Deal with it.
California is burning down around our ears.
Both literally and metaphorically.
So, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with RymdResa, but I restarted my whole file, so don't really have access to any of it. So we're just going to kind of go with things.
The day you died,
See how we go.
watched it explode, watched it burn. Observe the explosion. Observe the fire, thinking of you.
That's some more talk.
What, just because your world died, now you need to travel off to find somewhere to,
Probably should have done something to
People
stop
live.
that rock.
Can't stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock. So, this is our ship. We've
That's
got
a
an
planet.
arrow there.
That seems to be strafing you. Look at me. Look at me. I'm a planet.
So things have gravity.
Apparently.
We are slowly moving. You can see down here we've got our velocity. That actually tells us kind of where we're heading. Over here it shows where we currently are. Over here it shows us where we're supposed to go. Ow.
And those look like landmines in space. Space mines. Spines.
Red angry things.
Yeah, go for it, anything. It's close enough.
So things of important note. Yes, I know. Main quest. Find the 8 signal locations. So that's the goal for Chapter 1. There's 8 specific areas we have to get to that have things. What I was going to say is important note. As you can see down here, we only have one real resource called resources. This is our health and our fuel.
Oh,
Okay then.
So as I propel myself, it uses resources. If I hit things, it uses resources. So this game is about a lot of drifting. Aimlessly drifting and trying not to get ripped into the sun.
Well, it kind of makes sense for space travel, because that's kind
the
of how
sun
that
just
would work.
wants to give you a hug.
Hypothetically.
As you can see here, we are currently roaming free in space with dreams of the past.
Free-ish. It also seems like you're affected by gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I said, things have gravity. Gravity will pull us around. Oh, Jesus.
Quite literally.
Ow.
I'm very low on resource.
Yes, we don't really start with a whole lot of resources. And, things do a lot of damage in this game, actually.
Mortality.
For a game that is overall pretty chill, you die really quickly if things start going badly.
What's the
Like
arrow?
right now.
Huh? What was that?
What's the arrow?
The arrow is pointing us towards the next of the 8 places we need to go
okay.
to. So we have kind of 2 ways of tracking that. Ow.
Oh,
Okay.
double resource.
Yep. So as you can see, this was the first of the 8 places we were supposed to go.
This planet is high in triangles.
Now, when we hit that, it also said found sentry, which is a thing we get over here. We can add stuff to our ship, and it does things. So, for instance, this particular sentry is the popular sentry of things.
Is that Okay.
It sets sentry times 3, acceleration plus 17, and max speed plus 10. Don't worry too much about these stats. They don't actually matter much.
We've also gotten a...
As you can see, it has
North
changed
symbol?
our... Yes, these are the 8 symbols corresponding to the 8 places we're trying to get to that will tell us where our people's new home is. As you can see here, our arrow has now changed to this kind of weird pointer. That's because of the sentry. Also, important note, we have a boost.
Oh.
It heavily accelerates you without using resources, but it's also a really good way to slam yourself face first into hazards. So I don't use it very often.
It'd be a good idea to push you in a direction so you can start drifting. Oh, we got space points.
Yes. Just about everything you do, including just existing, actually gets you space points.
Are space points just points?
No, they have uses.
Okay.
Oh, and there we found a style, which we probably can't use. Oh my god, we can. This is actually a style for this ship. So you can see here it says ship requirement, Embla colonizer. Most styles are very specific to ships.
That's a growing style of fast food.
Glowing style of fast food, yes.
Okay.
Fast food restaurant.
Which gives us style times 8, I think that is. Acceleration plus 5 and max speed plus 4.
Whose style is apparently a bunch of squares.
As you
That's
can
how
see,
stylish we are.
yep, changes the look of our ship. It is important to note that there are some styles in this game that are bugged and make your ship invisible.
Right.
Fortunately, this does not appear to be one of them.
See-through's a style.
I've had that happen more than once, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure out what the hell was going on.
Continuing sending shot, but I fear a single target is weaker. Each day goes
Also, this game has poetry.
with the averted, with viscers.
Yep, machine-built poetry.
We have now spent 2 years in space.
Goes by so fast.
There are other non-target objects around that are interactable sometimes, other planets and stuff like that. But you generally don't go seeking them out unless you absolutely have to. Most of the time you just kind of try and head towards the objectives. Because you have very limited resources. That's a sun. That's a lot of suns.
The promised utopia.
This is really crowded space.
The game is not particularly concerned with how astrophysics actually works.
Is it really crowded space, though? I mean, the span of, 5 minutes game time is 2 years, so... We're traveling huge distances.
3 years now, thank you very much. As you can see, we also do have a level meter that
That's
does
just-
things,
Yeah.
theoretically.
That's just it. We're traveling between 2 points in space. The likeliness of us even remotely coming close enough to see something else when we're traveling between 2 specific points in space is basically fucking 0.
We're going very fast.
It's not a speed thing. Literally, between 2 objects in space, if you travel in a straight line, you're very unlikely to hit anything.
But we're
Or
going
even
very
come close
fast
to it.
by activating a drive that compresses space, and we travel entirely on compressed space.
Just so we're clear, none of this is canon. The game doesn't think that hard.
Nope, I'm sure it doesn't.
We found a place with strong gravity. Gravity is too strong. You are unwillingly dragged to the planet. If you don't act now, you will crash. We can either let the autopilot take over or steer the spaceship ourselves.
Use the autopilot.
Autopilot succeeds. We got 300 space points and 10 resources and didn't horribly die. And also an item.
What would have happened if you didn't choose that option?
Question mark? Each of those things is actually RNG.
Okay.
It is not like one of those is a success state, one of those is a failure state. It is, both are just what they are. So you can see here we got a supply kit, which is actually a usable item which will give us 100 resources on use.
So not really something we want to use right now.
Nope.
No, I got plenty of resources.
And we just made it to our third destination here. A
More
pile of
space
dust
point.
left behind by a comet. And we got another item out of that. So that one is a pilot manual. A page from the How to Fly manual. It gives us a small chance to gain stat points. So there is literally no reason to not use that. So we actually got 4 stat points out of that manual, and 2 because we actually hit level 1. So we have 4 stats that do things. They don't do much things. Exploration just means that when you actually succeed at quests, you get better rewards. Scouting is an increased chance of actually finding items, and you get more XP from picking up the little stars that are around. Technology is complicated. And survival actually increases your starting resources. There are refuel stations around, which survival will give them more charges, and lessens the cooldown for using consumable items.
So let's keep this simple and just do technology.
Actually, that is what I usually do, because as you can see, technology, the biggest thing that technology does is there are these tech zones all around the map. We haven't actually run into one yet, but they are there. And you have to have certain thresholds of technology to actually be able to access them. And, yeah, they give you really good stuff if you can access them, usually. This is an ice giant. Who would I be if not an explorer? We can either take samples from the core or extract water from its mantle. We don't actually need resources because we just refilled, so we're going to take space points.
And lose 170 resources.
That's cool. We have a package of 100.
Good thing, too. Ice giants.
Oh, and we found a rare sentry. So items do have a rating, which usually reflects how good they are. In this particular instance, this thing is actually, like, outright worse, I think, than...
Probably, depending on what sentry means.
That's just the style of pointer.
Okay,
It doesn't actually do anything.
got it.
Yeah, slightly better acceleration, but significantly worse max speed. So, I'm just going to scrap that. As you can see here, there's technically a crafting system, by which I mean when you scrap stuff, it builds up scraps, and eventually when you get a certain number of scraps, it just gives you a random item.
Ice giants. The reason why invading Earth for water is dumb. Seriously, Titan's right there. You can just mine it to your heart's content.
Yes, but the suffering makes the water taste better.
Exactly. It's not just the fact that you have to get the ice. You
You
get
have to
the
take
ice
it from
and
somebody.
subjugate some people.
Yeah. Titan doesn't have an entire slave population just there and ready to mine the ice for you.
Exactly.
So that was a shooting star that just happened. I have no idea if that damaged you if it hits you. Given this game, I would imagine so. Either that or gives you a lot of resources or XP or something.
Equal chances of about everything.
Pretty much.
That's tight. Oh.
Your hitbox is smaller than your ship actually is.
Ah.
Just barely. It is not quite at the level of
Oh,
a
that planet likes you.
bullet hell.
Where your hitbox
Actually,
is
it's
this
a
little
pixel.
dot. Yeah.
But realistically, our hitbox is actually that.
Yeah.
Ah. So regardless of
No matter what our ship actually looks like, our hitbox is basically the same. Style is purely visual effect. So if you're playing without any style on your ship, your hitbox is exactly what your ship looks like. If you're playing with a style, you kind of have to remember how big your original ship really is.
Mastermind. Space confusion is real.
So those things give us resources when we fight through this planet?
They give you XP.
Ah.
Yeah, so here are the technology things I was talking about. Like, those ones are locked still because you need like 25 to unlock those.
Ah.
It takes a while to actually unlock tech, but they are well worth it.
Pulsar.
Pulsing pulsar of pulsing light. Sure mess with the instrument of man for a while. Away, forward through space we go.
There was something coherent about that, I think.
That's not even the poetry. We found a good custom.
Weekly package of sparkles.
So does this have any appearance effect on us?
Nope,
Aw.
just stats. So on the topic of packages of sparkles, I saw a thing today.
What's that?
Somebody done made a mistake.
Huh.
So they ordered a bunch of the extra expansion packs for Cards Against Humanity, including the Pride pack. But unfortunately, by the time they had ordered the Pride pack, they had run out of the special edition Pride pack that came with glitter.
Yeah.
So the person emailed Cards Against Humanity and told them, "Hey, I just ordered a bunch of packs, including your Pride pack. But unfortunately, you were out of the Pride pack with glitter by the time I got there. Could you guys possibly just send me some glitter anyways? It would really make my day."
That's a mistake.
To which Cards Against Humanity responded, "We got you. Keep an eye on your mailbox in the next few weeks." And so they got an envelope with a little bit of glitter in it. So they emailed Cards Against Humanity back and said, "Well, that was some glitter. Is that all you got?" To which, of course, Cards Against Humanity replied, "Oh, you've done it now. Now you're really going to want to keep an eye on your mailbox for the next couple weeks." So then, they got a box.
Okay.
And I do mean a box. This thing was probably about the size of a small television.
Full of glitter?
Old CRT.
And before opening this box, they took a picture of it and sent the email to Cards Against Humanity and said, "I am afraid." Cards Against Humanity was basically like, "Well, you should be." Then they opened the box, and it was full of glitter. A few days later, they emailed Cards Against Humanity again and told them, "I am buried in glitter. Every time I think I have reached the end, more of it somehow manages to resurface. I will never be clear of this glitter. I have taken to starting my mornings with a bowl full of glitter with milk in an attempt to make some dent. It has not worked." Cards Against Humanity told him, "You have nobody to blame but yourself."
And then set them in our box.
No, they learned their lesson.
That's what I would have done.
So this is a gamble box.
Oh. I assume we open it, we get random stuff.
Or lose a shit ton of resources.
Oh.
So we're not going to do that.
Aww.
Unless we're in desperation, basically.
Or near a planet.
We do seem to get a ton of resources every time we hit a planet. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that if we're near a planet, there's no real point.
Well, does the gamble box give us things besides...
It gives us resources.
Ah.
It either gives us a ton of resources or takes a ton of resources. And when I say a ton of resources, I think it may just outright kill you.
Ah.
I've never actually seen the number when I opened a gamble box. We've been out here a while, guys.
We have. We got more space points. The space points keep me warm at night.
Ah, those spacebook blankets.
Also, we're almost level 2.
We are almost level 2.
Yep. There's also that sun we can fly into because it looks so comfortable.
So I will say this much: this has been an incredibly good start. I usually do not manage to make it this far when I first start RymdResa.
Huh.
I pretty typically start heading towards the first objective, and somewhere along the way is just a giant clusterfuck of rocks and mines to run into that I end up desperately trying to dodge and then exploding.
And we did run into a couple mines early on, but
The game has been exceptionally kind to us. It must know we're streaming and be trying to make a good impression on people. I don't know what people it thinks it's going to impress. Nobody's watching us.
The wolf. Not that attitude.
We leveled up.
oh, that's the level thing. For a second there, I thought like an alien ship has come to ruin us.
Nope. As far as I have played in this game, understanding that I've only made it to Chapter 2 out of 3, there are no actual enemies.
Okay.
There's just hazards. It is, by nature, a chill game.
So what do we have now at level 2?
Huh? What do you mean?
Did you get anything for getting a level?
Stat points, which I have continued to put in technology in an attempt to, the telescope, trying to identify new wonders. Mapping space. On its own, I call that magic. I call it mirrors, dipshit.
So magic, or at least how it's generally done. At least partially. Also means some smoke, but you get the point.
So we got a massive supply kit,
I'm not sure if you can have smoke in space.
which gives us 350 resources. You may notice our resource cap is 300.
Yeah.
That's for this particular ship. Different ships actually have different resource caps and stuff.
Ah, no mini sky.
Can you have smoke in space?
Technically, yes, as long as you are actually burning something that has any sort of oxygen content to it.
Where does it go?
Pretty much dissipates.
Where does what go?
Smoke in space.
Dissipates?
Look, when you inevitably set fire to the wooden prison spaceship in order to deal with the xenomorphs,
In fairness, if there were xenomorphs in your wooden prison spaceship, you would set it on fire.
Which must be returned.
yes, we have spent 10 years in space. We've been drifting for a decade.
See, this is why you don't let your planet get blown up by a rock.
Exactly.
We didn't have much choice. Rock was gonna do what it was gonna do, man.
You should have invested more time researching a giant baseball bat.
Bruce Willis was busy.
Bruce Willis, nothing. We need Winnie the Pooh with a baseball bat. I've seen what he can do.
Yeah, lose to Christopher Robin.
He eventually wins once.
Well, because Christopher Robin, that's it. Oh, it's real.
Non-existing space seasons. Instead, dreams of the past. If you haven't been paying attention to the bottom of the screen right above our level counter, every sector has some different, single-line poetry-esque thing.
I'm sure glad those rapidly moving planets can't hit us and just annihilate us.
Yeah, no. Only things with red borders hurt, basically.
So I'm assuming we've flown, considering the green tint, we've flown into the Cthulhian horror section of space.
Nope, just Fart Cloud Nebula.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it's well. That's a name. The name pops up every time you go to the new region. Arctic Death. Whoa.
Whoa. Well, there.
What the heck are those spinning things?
Bounce pads.
Oh.
Don't ask questions. Why, yes, I did just risk death for a gamble box that I don't intend to open.
Smash.
Although you may need to.
Nope.
Oh, you're dead.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones headed in for you, basically.
Well, it was the Arctic Death Zone.
Yeah.
It did at least live up to its name.
So we can launch or give up.
Yep.
And we still have the colonizer.
Oh, do we have to keep that same ship?
Yep.
That's cute.
Stuff carries over, and there's also a legacy level thing
Okay.
where our high score converts into legacy experience,
Uh-huh.
and as you gain legacy experience and legacy levels, you actually get to apply those points to give you boost. As you can see here, we also kept 9,000 of our space points, which, if we had more than that, we could actually start with one of these other ships. These do take space points every time you use them, though, whereas the colonizer is always free.
Ah.
So you can see here, even the most basic of other ships costs
The ships
12,500.
look like they have different stats.
Yes, they do have different stats and do different things.
We really need that turtle one so you can just smash through rocks.
Still can't really smash through rocks. It only reduces damage by 25%. As you may have noticed, they do a lot.
Rocks do in fact hurt. So does like mission?
Nope.
Okay. So we have to go to the 9 planet or the 9, 8 or 9.
Eight.
Ow. 8 or 9 things again.
Yes.
Oh, this is chill while we do it. Ow.
This is a more typical start for RymdResa.
Did we start in the Arctic Death Zone?
No,
No,
we're Neptune, actually.
Oh.
No, it's just... It was very odd that it had taken us that long to actually find a zone like that. That is actually a typical zone for RymdResa.
in fairness, Neptune is the Roman equivalent of a Greek asshole, so...
All Greek gods are assholes.
Yes. Mostly.
That's like their defining character trait.
Also,
So that will launch us in what direction it's facing, I assume?
Yeah, pretty much. So from that one, we got this phase cloak.
like it's invisible?
It's a little bit of a misnomer,
To make it intangible?
essentially.
Okay.
Oh, we get intangibility.
Ah, the ability to not dance.
Yes.
I assume we can move through stuff while we're intangible.
Some stuff. I think for some reason bounce pads still affect you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But we could fly through rocks and such while we're intangible.
I'm not sure. I've never been willing to test it. This game kills you enough as is.
Well, we already used the cloak, so we can't test it.
Strange madness.
I was feeling risky. I decided to hit the gamble box. Oh yeah, by the way, you also keep your inventory. The only real penalty for death is the reset of quest progress.
Ah.
Right. All the stats and things we put and stuff. Yeah, we're still level 2, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
We still have 11 technology. Yeah. Literally, the only penalty for death is that you lose whatever progress you have made in that chapter so far. Now, mind you, it is chapter-based, so once we actually get all 8 of these and reach chapter 2, if we die at that point, we will actually start over at the beginning of chapter 2.
Okay. Well, what are the other stats we can have besides technology?
Exploration, which just increases quest rewards, basically.
Okay.
And also technically increases the chance of succeeding at quests.
Ah.
Scouting. Or scouring, I think. Actually, yeah, scouring. So those stars we pick up give us XP. This increases how much XP they give. Increases the chance of us getting a treasure bonus item. So when we interact with stuff and it'll sometimes drop an item,
Oh.
that's called a treasure bonus item. Increases our general chance of item finding, which is just the randomly spawned items. And also gives us material bonus, which I believe is just resources gained from stuff. Technology, which, in addition to actually unlocking the stuff, also actually increases the effect of consumable items, and also affects our shield if we have one, like increases the recharge rate and such.
Yep.
And then survival, which just increases our base resources and lowers the cooldown for using consumable items.
Okay.
Because there is a global cooldown for consumables.
Yeah, I saw that when you used the game blocks.
Yeah, you can't just hammer consumables.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Doesn't have a red border, it's fine. They say that the secrets are buried deep inside one's heart. Take sample from the core of the asteroid.
I don't know
I am
how
not a
to
heart
do it.
eater. Eat its heart, gain its power.
Yay,
For too
10
long, we
space
have
points.
ignored the history of the universe. We got 10 space points and lost 135 resources. That's a song.
Everything should have ended here.
Oh god.
3 years and 6.
One day, you decide to take a trip with your shuttle, just to float around for a while and clear your messy and jaded mind. But instead you find 125 resources or a shield battery.
Obviously,
Well,
she'll
considering
find
we
it.
don't have shields,
Aw.
and in fact just lost a bunch of resources when we decided to rip the heart out of an asteroid.
Oof.
Peace.
Yes, there are also random words floating in space.
Like normal space.
Don't ask questions. A fireball. A burning ball, chasing targets. Ball of energy. A being of its own. Beginning of everything, or the end of everything. This little light of unknown origin. Fire of nothingness.
Okay. So we're saying as a wizard did it.
Never been entirely clear if this game is poetry or metal lyrics.
Homemade,
of light.
beat.
The beginning of all, or the end of all.
I tried his metal lyrics if I could actually sing like a death metal singer, but I can't. So,
Neither can they. What's your point?
It's very easy to sing like that music. Get some hot coffee. Like, super hot scalding coffee.
Pour it on the outside of your throat, then drink another cup with the same heat.
Yep.
too much effort. I'm just gonna get some.
Then find
balls.
some road tar.
Drink it too. I hate space. I do. I really do. Space points.
So yeah, the poems are different sometimes. There's a selection of them to pick from for like all the year stuff.
That one
Back
happened.
into the strange madness.
That one happened.
Ah, non-existing space seasons. Instead, Tomorrow Day.
Yep, that's the thing. Sparkles. Rock. Lone rock.
Also the-
more close to his target.
The more I think about it, the more I realize, since this game is ostensibly Swedish, being named RymdResa, they're metal lyrics.
Yeah, that would actually make more sense now that you mention it.
I mean, there's absolutely nothing else metal about this game. It is quite literally one of the most chill games I own.
Oh, no, this game is actually developed by Sabaton?
Oh, we got an aura.
Oh, we are.
Yes, we do have an aura.
Oh.
It does stat things.
Also makes us glow, doesn't it?
Slightly.
Yeah. I mean, it's glowing the exact same color as the galaxy we're currently in, so it doesn't...
After 2 straight weeks of just sitting at the ship cockpit, thinking about the future ahead, you feel that you could acquire some new things just by thinking about it. We get a pilot manual, a +1 consumable of a random type. Or...
What the
Yeah.
pilot manual did?
the pilot manual gives us a small chance to gain stat points, so I'm
Sure,
going to go
why
with that
not?
one.
Let's hit a button.
It didn't give us a pilot manual, it activated a pilot manual, as
Ah.
if we had one. But we didn't get stat points from it. Doesn't always happen. It's usually worth the chance, though. Stat points are good.
Yeah. It's more technology, for reasons. That's, a little bit too...
Ow.
How indeed.
Welcome to Space Hub.
It's fine. We're fine.
We're not fine!
We're absolutely
We
fine.
are no longer fine. But
Give it a second, we'll be fine.
we're still fine.
Everything's fine. This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are happening.
The legacy bonus.
Yep, we are 74% of the way to our first legacy level.
Uh-huh.
There's also space rank, which does a thing. It literally has no mechanical effect.
It
It's just
shows
how
how dedicated
yeah.
you
It's just how
are.
much you've actually played this game. Before I reset, I was like 6 or 7 ranks in. I played a lot of RymdResa. It's a good game to kind of just chill out.
I can actually see that.
Lightly drift through space. If you die, who cares? Just keep all your stuff.
You just come back. Same everything.
Drift through space again. Watch out for rocks.
Technology we can't get.
Yep. I think the first set of tech stuff actually opens at 25. I don't think there's anything before that, so if you are going for technology, you kind of focus in it for a while.
Oh, that'll be a rock.
I aimed for it. I welcome death.
Sure you did.
So I assume a shield is just one of the random items we can find.
Yeah, it's another equipable, just like anything else. You can see here we have like an engine slot. Basically, there is a shield slot right here, which as you can see is currently locked. Sometimes it's possible to unlock those through random events. Sometimes certain ships just have a shield slot by default. It's not too big a deal. Shields are remarkably uncommon. Creature energy. Big dick energy.
Planet wandering around. Still an asshole.
My path is already predetermined, so please let me be. I'm dying, you see, on a suicide. Sorry. These are metal lyrics. We're doing that. My path is already predetermined, so please let me be. I'm dying, you see, on a suicide mission. Decided by the galaxy politician. Nothing you can do to change it. So I will smash, and I will boom. My leftovers will bloom. My being become a moon. That's my duty, a kind of beauty. Helping an utopia. Now leave me to my destiny!
Helping end utopia.
Those are easily the most metal lyrics I've ever come across in this game. That kind of fucking ruled.
Gentlemen, it appears Deathclock is trying to start a colony in space.
I've rewritten the canon for this game now.
There's a little floating thing in space. Turn off your lights. Oh, exploration failed.
Yep, that happens sometimes. Again, that is based on 80 space points for 20 resources. Not bad.
No. And
Yeah, so you technically have a random chance to fail any exploration. Explorations are quote-unquote quests.
Nice. So having the
Having the stat that increases quest success
Makes you more likely
makes you
to
more
actually
likely
get
to
stuff
succeed. So as you can see, sometimes there's stuff just in the background.
Yeah.
Those are non-explorable. They're just sort of there.
random space stations and nebulas.
space nebula.
Inexplicably, the space station is the size of a nebula.
Oh, it gets more ridiculous than that. All the objects are kind of randomly sized. I haven't, in fact, come across space capsules larger than planets.
Wow.
So it's barely audible, but there is like an actual sort of robot voice that reads these. If I had the volume a bit higher on it, you'd probably be able to hear it, but it's nothing of terrible significance.
It's a little kind of...
It is actually one of the devs did like a digitized voice.
Ah.
Oh, there's no pointer.
So, quasi-text-to-speech, but not actually.
Yeah, he actually read it and then like ran it through a like filter to make it sound more robotic.
Woo!
So one of the major problems with this game is once you get going,
And the faster you go, the harder it is to stop.
basically, the one place it actually kind of decides to pay attention to physics. Your easiest bet is to try and find an explorable, because if you explore something, you will just dead stop. Unless there is gravity around to pull you towards something else.
And they say, I'm mad!
After months of studies, you managed to transform some of your useless plastic space food into either a resource supply kit or a teleport gate.
Why would we take useless plastic space food with us? Apparently to transform it into a teleport gate.
Yep, that we can't open. That's
Oh.
okay. We didn't really need resources either. Here we go. Cursed gravity.
Yeah, it's all the game need down to.
We also got this other sentry at some point,
Yeah.
which has better max speed, but significantly decreases our acceleration, so no.
Acceleration seems quite a bit more important.
Acceleration is significantly more important than just about any other stat in the game, because it lets you get away from shit.
Yeah.
Son.
I'm aware.
Ow. Oh,
Ow.
it does damage.
Yeah, when you
your
get within
sun
that
because
red
suns
radius.
are hot.
Yeah.
Thus confirming my suspicion, suns are evil.
Yeah, you basically have a limited amount of time to get out of the radius before you get pinged for damage. If you hit the sun, yeah, we were
there we
gonna
go.
die either way. I didn't have enough fuel to actually get away from that.
I couldn't use the boost.
Technically speaking, but that was also likely to just hurl us into something and kill us.
That super dangerous boost. Oh, we can get a new ship.
We can't. I'm not going to. Honestly, all the Chapter 1 ships are kind of garbage, especially once you actually start getting stuff on the colonizer. Ow.
Yep.
Gravity, let me go. I want to go this way.
You indeed achieve the triangles.
Can I grab that item?
I mean, I could. That one I'm pretty sure is a consumable, so I don't care as much.
Yeah. let's see.
That is specifically a star scanner,
Scan the area for
Yeah, there it's a
stardust.
star.
which does this.
Ah, produces stardust on the screen, basically, and pulls it into you.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Just basically a bunch of free XP.
So, one of the better items, honestly.
Pretty much. Of note, if you do that when there are actually already stars nearby, it will generate more stars and draw all the stars
draw
into you,
all
not
the-
just the ones it generates.
So it's a little bit better to use when you're actually near stars, but still.
Yeah, but because of the way I play this, super cautious and don't actually drip around trying to specifically find stuff other than the goal points, there's never really a guarantee I'm ever going to find myself near a star field, so I usually just use those as soon as I get them.
Open space. Not to be confused with closed space.
Wishful thinking.
I'm fairly certain these are machine constructed.
They're not.
I'm going to pretend they are anyways.
Go for it.
The Forgotten Area. Probably because it's full of mines.
And rocks. And oh my god, I wish I could forget this area.
No, the rocks aren't from here. They came with us.
An item! And rocks hurtling towards us to try and kill us.
It's cool, I got this.
Consumable.
Yep, that's another one of the
that's good.
phase cloaks.
It's probably useful.
Maybe.
Well, next time we're about to slam into a rock, turn it on and see what happens.
So yeah, all told, that's kind of really all there is to say about the game itself. So, let's talk amongst yourselves.
Let's try and construct space poetry.
Here, let's start. Sometimes I feel like I'm just adrift in space.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Almond Joy has nuts. Mounds don't.
You know, the peanut is neither a pea nor a nut.
To the June.
It is a fact. A vision.
It's a bean.
Well, back into the strange madness.
So what separates a bean from a nut?
What's that?
So what separates a bean from a nut?
Well, the
Beans
nuts
are
nuts.
literally the Junes.
Beans are beans.
Well, nuts are nuts. Strictly speaking, nuts grow on trees.
Mm.
It's true.
Which peanuts do not. A moonlander from Earth. It cannot be, but it is. An old piece of machine. Should be crushed into pieces. But its heart is strong, unique, floating, trying to reach its home. But the moon is no longer.
Yep. Yes, peanuts don't grow on trees. They grow on peanut whales. Made in Japan, our only source of peanuts.
They go on what?
Peanut whales. They're whales covered in peanuts.
Makes Jimmy Carter a lot more hardcore than you think he is.
Why is that?
He's a peanut farmer.
Which ironically makes him a whaler.
I'm about to say, if they're whales, it'd be peanut fisher?
Nope,
No,
farmer.
farmer.
They said, we got help. You are close. It is existing. And they continue. It is living. A living service. And I opened my eyes, and I stopped breathing for a while.
I feel like our little robot friend who's with us is going mad.
I think it's bad
What
to begin with.
What little robot friend who's with us?
As far as I'm concerned, every time that little person pops up who's presumably us, I just believe that someone else on our ship is going crazy.
Ah,
No.
Getting a little Event Horizon in space.
no, we are quite distinctly the only one on our ship. There is actually a plot to this game. It doesn't ever actually give it to you.
Mm. You find out the plot by reading other people talking about the game. Or putting together all of the poetry because you're insane. I'm not sure which.
The basic gist is you were actually... Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh well, we will not find out what phase gold does.
Yes. Breathe with me and die.
Sure. We might be screwed.
Oh, we are definitely screwed. That will outright kill you no matter what. But if we didn't die, we would have gotten 15,000 or more stars.
Yep.
So we've reached the legacy level, so we get these legacy bonuses. Keep in mind this only applies to the next time we actually start.
It's not a constant.
No. Can't just take a random bonus if we don't particularly want one, but I usually go for the experience bonus just because it's a way to... Basically, we can activate it when we want
Okay.
on a dip on a playthrough,
61% experience.
and it will apply for the next.
So now to not immediately die.
Hail of Rocks.
But yeah, to my understanding, what happened is you were actually out in space when the whole, rock crashing into the planet, killing it thing happened. And like they saw it in time to basically get a bunch of people out and set off for another planet, but like couldn't wait for you to get back in time to get away, and so they left a bunch of these markers guiding you to the new home.
That looks interesting.
It's poking. So that's a refuel station.
gyro to get yours.
Yeah, it will just. It has a certain number of charges, and that number of times it will refill your resources to your max.
In case you want to explore the very specific area around it.
These are more important in the second chapter, where you're not constantly moving through to different sections. The second chapter, basically, after you finish the first chapter, you find the new home, but then stuff happens, and you have to kind of go do a bunch of stuff. But you have
Giant rock. Oh, it's like a new home.
But you have to keep constantly kind of checking back in with home base. So one important note, you can't actually explore things if you're moving too fast when you pass by them. We've got a different aura. And we also have this legendary style. Does drop our max speed, but screw
Well,
it.
it's not a boost.
Yeah. Legendary level items are ridiculous, generally.
Yeah.
Drops the hell out of our acceleration, but adds max speed. We don't care, so
Yeah.
we're gonna scrap that. We're 11% of the way to a random item. And I'm hanging on to this style because if we ever decide to use a different... Oh no, that's Animal Colonizer. I'm screw it. There are some styles that are ship agnostic,
I see.
so I would have hung on to that. And
Just in case we use your ship. Of course not. You're not from Ohio.
no, he is from Ohio. He was already an astronaut.
Yep.
True.
That's a horrible little section of space right there.
RymdResa. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting balance between trying to manage your resources and trying to not slam into stuff and die.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new type of consumable we haven't seen yet. That is an item scanner, which, similar to the star scanner, basically just actually generates an item.
Oh. So it replaces itself.
It's not always a consumable. Sometimes it's actually a inventory, like an equipment thing. If you're extremely lucky, basically. And sometimes it actually finds nothing, like it did for us, but...
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you scan, there's nothing to find.
Notably, the star scanner item will always generate stars. That will never actually fail.
And the confusion.
Considering experience is just experience, that would kind of make sense. Star, compromising attitude. Aura.
There is no never. You've got a lot of time now to think about the eternity and the foreverness, and all that. The thing is that you really don't want to think, so you try your best not to. Instead, you experiment in your lab. You decide to invent a secret droid or a teleport gate.
There they go. Flying saucer.
Yes, it is a flying saucer.
Some kind of space bloodborne hat.
Yes.
Got some space ones.
Found nothing.
That's okay.
It tried its best.
So what does that new aura do?
Or max speed.
Yep.
That thing I really don't want.
We got all the time in the world in space.
Yep. Space, which is big and empty, except in this instance.
So,
Like I said, something that compresses space, but compresses everything again.
because of the nature of this game and the need to conserve resources, you essentially try and get really good at orchestrating
That
near
rock
misses.
turns for you.
Well, yeah, they orbit. It's part of what makes things difficult is some things fly straight, some things orbit. So you never can really predict what path they're going to take.
So some things have a trajectory, some things are perpetually falling towards something a lot bigger.
Essentially. And there is absolutely no indication of which is which. Oh, and some things are just stationary.
The limbo. Don't forget, we do have a boost, worst case scenario.
We do.
Okay, it's better than flying into a rocket and not really dying, even if we may just fly in a random direction and not really die.
Into a rocket die. You know, take a good and bad.
Almost made it.
So close. Also, our weird little death symbol changes every time.
Oh, yes, we get different oracles.
Oracles?
They don't do anything.
Yeah.
They're more poetry.
It's feeling more Greek by the minute. Or Roman. Or Romans
Bye,
ripping off the
planet.
Greeks.
Bye, planet.
Again, we're dealing with space,
Bye,
so it's kind of a side
Bye, planet.
effect. In this moment, blue text.
Alienation. I love that show.
That's pretty short.
How long did that show even last?
What's that?
How long did that show even last?
Good show.
Alienation.
Oh.
I think it lasted for like a season and then got some direct-to-TV movies. 2 or 3. That was a good show, if only because it accurately showed what the DMV workers would do to prank aliens if they came down. So one of the major points is when the aliens came down and wanted to become citizens, at the citizenship office, they just started giving them random funny names, and because the people didn't know how to speak English, they just accepted it, which is why one of the main characters is named George San Francisco.
I mean, it's at least partially an homage to Buckaroo Banzai,
Yeah.
where all the aliens are John and various different funny-ass last names. Like John Smallberries and John Big Boutte.
A Death Star?
No, that's just Geometric Planet.
It's like a Dyson sphere of some sort.
Who the hell builds that? Literally, how the hell do you build that?
There was like a film, and the season it was like one season.
That's what I figured.
They also did comics,
Yes.
Huh.
and apparently novels after the comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a film, and then the year after the film, they did a 2D series. Then after the 2D series for 2 years, they did comics. Then after the comics for 2 years, they did novels.
Then they were done with this
And
franchise.
that's done.
Until somebody decides to reboot it. There are no original ideas.
God, don't tell the internet that. Thankfully, they're not watching. Mostly.
No, I would actually love to see a reboot of Alienation. It was a great show.
Yes. But you know you're wishing on a monkey's paw here.
Eh.
Monkeys have delicious paws. Just
Look,
like
man, they're already talking about reviving Babylon 5 somehow, despite like half the cast being dead.
The main writer is still alive.
Yes, but
And writing.
literally, like, 90% of the significant characters are fucking dead.
I think it's because J. Michael Straczynski is Puck.
So, J. Michael Straczynski has better things to do. They're rebooting She-Ra.
Yes.
Oh, he's writing that?
No, he isn't.
Aw!
I think he's still getting credit, like, as, like, a homage thing for having written the original.
Just still weird in and of itself.
There's a long way towards explaining why
It's
She-Ra
not a-
was more watchable.
It's one of those
True.
things where I would not have... If I didn't know about it, I would not never have guessed it, but knowing about it, I'm like, no, it's J. Michael Straczynski. I'm pretty sure he can write anything.
Yeah. Look, J. Michael Straczynski doesn't take you where you want to go. J. Michael Straczynski takes you where you need to be.
And also, to be fair, while J. Michael Straczynski may still be alive for whatever ends up happening or not happening with the Babylon 5 revival, their conceptual consultant is no longer alive, which will make it significantly worse. Harlan Ellison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what made B5 actually really great was it was J. Michael Straczynski writing Harlan Ellison concepts.
Soul survivor, cursed with second sight.
As far as the actor problem, that can easily be solved with CGI.
No.
No, puppets. I'll take Babylon 5 Puppet Theater.
That would be actually kind of awesome.
Oh, we got another custom.
Thunder Babylon 5.
1, 4, 15.
They already made the Londo Mallory, like, toy.
Item finding.
Sorry.
Acceleration.
Acceleration is actually good.
Well, yeah, this one also has item finding,
Yeah.
which is also good. Boost length, we don't care. But
What does Boost Link do?
makes our boost run longer. You know, that thing that honestly is more dangerous the longer you're doing it.
Don't do that choice.
You always have a choice. You can choose certain death over possible death.
But then you're in control. And everyone knows that you're not in control if you're not in control.
Take the 10-second challenge. Hit the boost for 10 straight seconds and see how long you live. If you live through the 10 seconds, you're fine.
It's not a constant thing. It's literally you trigger it and it goes off, and then
It boosts
it
until-
ends when it ends.
Decides to stop boosting.
You boost is on or off, not.
Do you maintain your boost speed after you're done boosting, or you drop back down to range?
You slowly drop back down.
Oh.
I'm not going to try and figure out the physics of this.
Space friction.
I'm going back to Mackey's actual space compression theory.
You further compress space,
Yeah.
but your space compression drive can only compress space that heavily for so long.
I'm going with this entirely operates on space compression, otherwise, there'd be basically nothing on screen.
Alright, we found a corn puff.
It's called game mechanics. No, you can't do a game that's literally nothing.
Found one of these.
What's that?
A blippo attractor.
Now you say that.
Oh. Tracks all the stars near you. So many points.
Yep.
So it's like a star scanner that doesn't produce stars on its own. But
Basically.
You say that, but that's a really easy game to make, so I'm thinking about it. And I can have it secretly mine cryptocurrency.
Stop that.
I've already made simple games that were really designed to secretly mine cryptocurrency. One of those was pulled off Steam just recently.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
Steam put up a warning telling people don't be idiots and buy games that are very obviously just sitting there to mine cryptocurrency. You fucking morons, because it's not like we're going to police our market.
Of course not.
And they continue. It is living on living with service. And I open my eyes and I stop breathing.
I want to kind of just make a blatant one and, like, test it on humanity. Just put something in the Steam page. This is basically, if you buy this program and run it, it will mine cryptocurrency for me.
It'll use your resources to mine cryptocurrency.
And to be fair, I'm going to be real honest here and say I'm pretty sure Valve didn't pull that game because it was a crypto miner. I'm pretty sure they pulled it because it was spoofing like TF2 high-value items and trying to market them.
Yep.
Yeah, that didn't help them either.
Yeah, I don't think they gave a crap that it was a crypto miner. They don't care.
Actually, I'm more surprised that people haven't tried to make like a decent free game that also happens to mine cryptocurrency.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Well, I mean, decent.
The decent
question
ones,
mark.
though, yeah.
Fun little time wasters they've already done, absolutely. They just haven't done ones that are like big in-depth games.
Because, you know, as an alternate method of paying for a game, especially if they're upfront about it, I don't actually mind that idea.
Well, not cryptocurrency specifically, but specifically there was a science group that was doing like star charting that had like a completely unrelated game up, and they were very upfront, like, okay, when you're playing this game, we're going to take a chunk of your CPU and we're going to use like 3% or 4% or something of CPU power, and we're going to use it to run our space calculations, but you can play this game.
Yeah.
And it was like really simple stuff like Breakout or
Wasn't there
Solitaire or
also
something.
for a while where like, let's say it was like PS4s, you could opt into a thing that would basically use your idle PS4
Yeah, you could opt into
processing
it
to do
too.
stuff.
Yeah, I think it was-
research cancer. I think.
Yeah, I think it was the cancer research one.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was a program you could download that Sony authorized that was basically...
Basically, when you weren't using your PS4, and just kind of run in the background.
PS3.
Or PS3, yeah.
Yeah, because it was a cell processor.
Yeah.
And just
Literally the only thing that the full potential of the cell processor ever got used for, because the whole point of the cell processor was this insanely powerful distributed computing thing that nothing ever utilized.
Four of them together make up official Air Force flight simulators.
Yeah.
They're like hyper detailed and can do entire wars.
well, yeah, because no game developers don't bother using them.
Intentionally. There were a couple of games that used the full power of the PS3.
Just because they were really poorly coded.
Yup! That horrible Gundam game.
Gundam
God.
Crossfire?
Yep.
Uh-huh. One of the big issues with Gundam Crossfire was that it basically would just continue to eat resources.
I think one of the
I
big,
mean, also it was really fucking bad.
I think one of the big issues with Gundam Crossfire was a fucking terrible game.
One of the many issues.
I'm still disappointed that that copy that got sold in the store is working.
Yeah.
It only happened because I wasn't there to stop it.
Didn't you specifically hide it behind other games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should have hidden it behind a copy of 12 Monkeys.
I actively told people not to buy it because the game was terrible. And then one day when I wasn't there when Manager sold, I came and was like, wait, what's a copy of Gundam Crossfire? I sold some. I'm like, why would you do that?
You'd have your children taken away from you. You're a menace.
That's customer disservice.
It's like that time when I briefly worked at a GameStop during the holiday season and stopped an old couple from buying Superman 64 for their grandson.
Doing the Lord's work.
Proton John still got a copy. You didn't stop them.
It
You only slowed them down.
It was truly horrifying because they come in, obviously don't know what they're doing, start going through the bin of N64 games, and I
a Superman game.
No, I distinctly hear the woman say, "Oh, he likes Superman," and I'm just like, "No,
No.
Do not assemble the... Wait, I've come back too soon.
yeah."
Okay, going from a dark sector to a light sector immediately.
Alright, obnoxious teal planet.
The Gemini dance.
Yes, we are deep in Gemini.
Oh, Gemini.
Never gonna make it.
Persephone's gift of darkness.
That was a pomegranate.
No, that was Hades' gift.
That's
To
right.
Persephone.
Persephone's gift was every year one
Got
thing
thing.
would be touched on the toilet.
Oh, we have an engine
They
now.
wouldn't tell what it was.
which
Wait.
reduces our boost cooldown, increases our max speed, and our acceleration.
How were we moving before this?
Default engine. That's a better engine.
Fire extinguishers.
That is quite specifically a glossy engine of meatballs.
There you go. I'm gonna go for all these ideas.
I think it's mothballs.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for our default engine. Really was fire extinguishers. We've just been
You
climbing
are distinctly
outside.
incorrect. It's meatballs.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
meatballs.
Happy to be wrong.
Not only is it an engine, it is also delicious.
Item names in this game are great. Just to go over this one more time. We are currently equipped with our glossy engine of meatballs, our mild aura of meatballs, our exclusive style of kisses, our popular century of things, our nuclear package of sparkles, and our solar microbrew of ice cream.
Are we sure we're not a JoJo's
Oh, we have a
character?
microbrew.
No,
Microbrew of ice cream.
no, those are musical references.
They may be translation errors.
No.
No.
So even though the game title is in Swedish, I'm pretty sure this is actually made by Americans.
I would look this up. This will take effort.
I got nothing better to do.
At the very least, even if it is made by Swedes, typically people in Europe speak English better than most Americans do, so... Not today, Space Rock.
I'll get you
Well, I mean,
sometime.
well, I mean, yes and no. They tend to speak the crappy British style of English, but
Oh, you mean the correct English, got it.
yes. With unnecessary extra vowels. And foppishness.
Oh, no, they're in Sweden.
Okay.
It's two people.
Well, two.
Mr. Rymd and Mr. Resa.
Oh, no, the company that makes it called Morgendag.
Yes, Morgan Dog.
Morgendag means tomorrow.
As long as you've got that open, have they actually made anything else?
Figuratively and or generally about an unspecified future.
Ah, so their name is their release date.
They do a short podcast, hopefully.
Huh.
Like,
Is it some combination between poetry, space, and death metal?
I don't know. Looks like they do it weekly. Although it looks like it's only like 3 to 6, 7 minutes.
Oh, it's a tolerable length for a podcast, got it.
896 points, to be awfully specific. Wow, we might actually succeed.
No. Don't get ahead of yourself.
I mean, we've mildly upgraded since we first started. That's big.
Yes, push people into the space
There we
box.
go.
It's fine.
The
We
space
got a bucket.
box. Oh, it's an eye. Never mind.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just a nebula, but...
It's a jackal. Is it a jackal? It's a jackal.
Ah, cigar cutter.
Sometimes cigar
Two.
cutter is just a cigar cutter.
Ah, two bears high-five.
Old man eating brisket.
Let's see. There's RymdResa. Imprint X.
Okay.
It looks like they have a game planned for next year called Lunar Soil.
Yeah, the Lunar Soil is actually, like, advertised on load screen for RymdResa.
It's a third-person mood-based management game about you, your AI crew, and your corporate function.
I think it may actually be in early access at this point.
That actually sounds mildly interesting. And weird.
If my life weren't currently consumed by No Man's Sky and Jazztronauts, I would look into that.
Is Jazztronauts out?
Today.
Hell yes.
What is Jazztronauts?
So Jazztronauts is a Gary's Mod based game wherein you load into a random assortment of 15,000 plus source engine levels and steal everything that's not bolted down and
Yes.
most things that are, in order to appease your
All I can say about
space
Lunar
cat
Soil-
overlords.
So it doesn't look like Lunar Soil has a early access, so it's not yet. It does look pretty nice, though.
So as you can see, we have a couple things here that show locked currently, and the reason for that is because they are for different ships
Aha.
that we don't have currently. We do have this other sentry that is better. So now we have this technical sentry of glass.
Yep.
Finally, something on our ship not food-based.
I was hoping our ship would be edible.
Oh, we might get one more thingy.
And we have to do something once we find out where we're going.
Yes, ideally we will make it to the 8th one and finish that up, and that'll let us move on to Chapter 2. Or we're going to run into a horrible field of asteroids and die
One or two.
explosively.
But yes, Jastronauts, good fun. I recommend it. It's free, I recall.
Yeah, it's a Gary's Mod game, so it is completely free.
Yeah.
You do need Gary's Mod, and you need the resource
So it
packs
begins.
from a bunch of like source. Whoa.
So it begins.
So a bunch of source-based games, and that's mostly just because the maps.
You have 7 out of 8. You flew too close to the sun.
A lot of the maps you're going to run into use resources from like Counter-Strike Source and Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, and sometimes stuff like TF2 or Left 4 Dead. So you need either those games or the resources from them, which can be found in technically legal ways. It's just kind of questionable gray area.
Searches like rabbit warriors about anything. And always one to understand is not.
But yeah, if you have Gary's Mod, get the Jastronauts stuff, and get the resources for it, you can play Jastronauts, and it's super fun. If you want more info, you can check out their Twitter. It is @JazzSourceGame.
If you want the game to be harder, play Jastronauts while you're jazzercising and listening to jazz.
Thrash jazz.
Yes.
Yes, the complete madness of Jastronauts. According to the devs, they have never tested this, but theoretically it should be able to be played by 128 people at once. We found the planet.
Woo! Yay!
Hey. Yep, that's a planet.
See, that's uncompressed space. We're coming out of space compression. Going to
To explain why we're not a fifth the size of the planet. The planet is also partially sun, apparently.
Look at space. Look at the giant ring.
Oh my god!
So for a note, there is totally a thing that the robot voice says there, but whatever. Yeah, so there's the little ad for Lunar Soil.
Okay.
So for reference, this is what actually is unlocked by the
Research things.
by the tech things, is the ability to research stuff, and these are all like static bonuses.
Oh, okay. So fairly good, but you have to
But now we have access
to chapter 2.
to Chapter 2, which also unlocks a bunch of new ships we can do.
Stop cruising.
The Gilfie Command, the Odin Alpha. But for now, we're going to stick with our Embla Colonizer. It's done as well so far.
A new chance. Prisoners in this new world of ours, operating in new areas, discovering, creating new history. But this time, we'll get it right.
Did any of you watch Earth 2? That was a pretty good show.
Multiple stages in this one?
Yep.
Actual complexity.
Yep. And each time we reach a new level, we can we get one of these permanent bonuses.
Oh, so this is how we get shields.
Yep.
Yep.
See others in space.
I'm gonna go with the Galactic Space Point Refinery then.
What's that do?
Generate space points every year.
Oh, okay. Will it bring materials back to our planet?
Yep. And the sentry now always points towards our
To
home.
its home base.
So now we're just wandering off into space.
Trying to find bad materials.
Yep. And the purpose of this chapter is to progress the new home planet through all 9 stages. I have never accomplished this.
Do you reset back to like stage 1 if you
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah.
Yay, resources.
Did get a style, but it's for a different ship, and also won't be better than our legendary style.
You do have a pretty sweet style. What are those spinning yellow things?
I believe those are damage. I'm not willing to test.
We just got this.
Those are walls, by the way.
So they operate like walls.
Yes. Not sure who built a bunch of walls in space, or how a wall in space actually works.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when space is only two-dimensional, because
When you're
apparently you've
compressing
compressed it to
space,
two
it
dimensions.
flattens Earth or flattens space. So
Sometimes, that's what happens when you use a gamble box.
we gambled and lost.
Floating corpses, one with the universe.
No, that's distinctly not one with the universe. Do we have to re-pick
Nope.
things? Okay, good.
So I think it does actually maintain the stages once you actually get to them. It's just, materials are honestly really hard to come by. As you may have noticed, we found a pack of 5 and we need 100 to even get to stage 2.
Sun.
I'm aware.
I know. I like to say sun.
Oh god.
Ow! Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't really do a whole lot of damage, but
So they're space bumpers. Got it.
yes.
But those ones had red borders. The other ones didn't.
That's why I did damage.
So I wonder if you can hit the other one just doesn't hurt you.
No.
And if we come across them again, I'll slam into one and see what happens.
Float through this green void.
Go through the fog cloud.
Aaron Dun? I cannot read that.
Ariadne's constellation.
Ow.
What?
Ow.
Ophelia's heart. Because now we're going into Shakespeare.
Ow.
Oh no, a tempest.
Yeah, so as you can see over there, when it just let us know we had spent a year in space, we got 150 space points. Because we have the thing now that makes space points happen every year. Fuck me.
This section of space sucks.
So realistically, that's how you kind of usually die in this game, is you end up having to use a ton of resources to avoid giant blocks of bullshit like that, and that leaves you low on resources, so the next time you get so much as scratched, you explode.
Alright.
Oh god.
Too much.
Oh.
Too many beans.
Just a few too many beans.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. That dog.
This way.
Sure. If only we had a space map of some sort.
Well, space map wouldn't have help because it randomly generates the area.
I think we flattened all the space. And
Ah, giant pile of materials.
Yeah.
I assume going back to home planet restores our resources.
I believe so.
God, I hope so.
Find out in a second here, because I'm going to go drop these off, because...
These are one each, aren't they?
Yes.
Oh, God.
But technically,
Mm-hmm.
not that this is reasonable, but technically, since we generate star points,
Space points.
or space points, which are also our experience.
No.
No.
Oh, that's separate. Okay.
Space points are space points. Experience is experience. No, you cannot get the one that generates space points and just sit there and level up forever.
But you could sit there and gain space points forever.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this would be useful anyway.
I mean, it does mean you could always use one of the other ships.
That's true.
And research is actually reliant on space points once you actually get research stuff.
No.
There.
25. Undefined technology.
Pretty much.
Or randomly spawn gates because they just decide to give it to someone else. Ow.
Screw there, bro.
First it giveth, then it taketh away.
That's too bad.
Nope.
What's that?
That's an Eric's phase jumper. It actually essentially jumps you in a random direction. We're actually just going to take the resources, so to try not to die.
Also, the other two were basically terrible enemies.
Well, I mean, the other one was 2 random items, which could have been good, could have been useless. Goes either way.
So, apparently these large objects will always give us some resources.
Yes, all the explorable stuff have a couple of resources in them. It's usually not a lot. It's like 3 to 5 typically.
Resource or material?
Or materials, rather, yeah.
Yeah. Totally different. Resources and materials.
Yeah. Material is material. Resource is resource.
This will not get confusing later.
It's like the difference between crystals and Vespine gas.
Only more similar to each other.
No, I mean, resource are resources, material are materials. I can't build with jet fuel.
Technically you can.
Can you then? I found a large chain of nebulae.
And
Field
a
of material.
good amount of material for one version.
And another giant nebulas.
The rain starts circling around this galaxy. Sure, why not?
Guys, we found the nice part of space.
I mean, nice, in quotation marks. I'm having to burn a lot of resources fighting gravity around here.
Oh, that's right. Everything here has
Plenty
gravity.
of resources.
And we're not actually that far
There's
from
not rocks here hurling towards you.
Not yet.
Time shall heal all my wounds. I was never
Ugh.
able to manage it before, and the self-betrayal of being away. Something was always missing. A piece of identity or something else. The confession of absence broke this whole world. Without completely recognition, there was
More galaxies.
Look into the space artichokes and see your future.
Artichoke dip. A tasty future indeed.
Yeah.
Came from nowhere.
Negative 150 material.
No, I don't think anything actually takes away materials. They're not that dickish.
You're in a very nice section of space here for materials,
Negative 1 chapter.
Oh, also of important note, if you do just want to kind of chill eternally, there is just a sandbox mode to this,
Saw that.
which is just sort of drift about, do whatever. I'm gonna go deposit.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So, how much are we up to? Still counting.
Yeah.
Still counting.
Oh, we got XP for them.
Yes, we do get XP for all the material return.
All right.
372.
Not bad.
Right. Got a unique style. So uniques are almost always specific to a certain ship. So that's a style for the Gilfy command.
Yeah.
So let's just command Gilfies.
Of course. Three years in space.
Yay.
Ice wash, just because.
Yep.
So we walked on ice. Where to find ice?
Space.
Within us. Weren't you paying attention?
Take water, insert into space.
Waited a fairly long amount of time for it to freeze.
Take that one, freeze.
Huh?
I'll take that one, freeze.
No, stuff doesn't cool down very quickly in space at all.
Nah.
See, the main method, or the main way that heat transfers within atmosphere is convection, which you don't have in
Convection
space.
doesn't work in the vacuum.
Yeah. It actually takes like an entire day for a human body to freeze. It's one of those things that sci-fi tends to get wrong in the movies.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they get a lot wrong about vacuum.
Yes.
That's like one of those constant, like, every sci-fi movie gets vacuum wrong. They somehow fail to understand that decompression and explosion are two different things.
Well, Star Wars space battles, on the other hand, those are highly scientific.
That's because Star Wars is a space opera.
Yeah.
Yes. This doesn't stop them from trying to actually explain shit more than they probably should.
That's only Lucas being an idiot.
There's that, yes. I mean, it's not restricted just to Lucas, but yes.
Well, see, also somewhere along the line, the people that make Star Wars forgot that they're supposed to be a space opera and not science fiction, which are actually different things.
Yes.
Science fiction, even soft sci-fi, tends to try and explain things scientifically. Space opera is,
It works because it works.
yeah, it's magic in space.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
See, this galaxy far, far away, we flooded with a bunch of oxygen in space. In order for the space battles to work like normal battles within atmosphere.
Because you midichlorians.
Yes.
I'll fucking hurt you.
The space of the Star Wars galaxy is entirely filled with midichlorians. Or midichlorians.
Maybe.
The writer's room, on the other hand, was filled with midichlorian.
Delicious, delicious medical.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to pause it because I think we might actually have enough for the next.
The next stage. Entirely possible.
Oh yeah, we definitely do.
Yep, 113 and 600 now. So what do we put here?
Sure, we'll get the possibility of shields.
Possibility of shields. Oh, we can actually have shields in this now.
Yes. Well,
Right.
shields exist now.
Yeah.
Prior to this, shields wouldn't actually like spawn.
Ah.
It's a new technology we had to develop or something. I don't know. Don't ask questions.
So the Hulk
How
is
did
going
we
to
miss
stand
that?
on the front of the ship and punch asteroids out of the way.
And in answer to your question, we missed that because we never actually came this direction specifically from Homeworld. We went south and then looped back around.
So why are we the
Well,
only...
south.
Why are we the only one actually gathering resources in space?
You trust those other incompetent to do it? They left markers to this planet in the middle of minefields.
Granted.
What if somebody comes and tries to take the marker? Then we must protect it. Boom, boom, boom.
Choose to believe that the mines were left by whoever built walls in space.
Make wherever we are.
Nothing means anything. I don't care. Fuck off and die.
Refrigerator.
My coffee maker is broken. Broken like my soul. Empty like this pot of coffee. Well, enough with the coffee maker. It's on your back, we'll fix it. This is his passive-aggressive way of requisitioning new supplies.
Yep, apparently we've been there.
Yep.
It's kind of the...
Haven't been here.
Yep. Well... Yay! We got damaged and gained resources for it.
We didn't get damage, we cut the escape pod loose.
Ah. We'll need that. Whenever we need to send a non-encrypted message to one specific person on one specific desert planet via droids.
Help me, RymdResa Kenobi, you're my only hope.
Exactly.
Okay, I have an answer to what happens in water and space now. Technically, it very rapidly boils.
Mm.
There would not have air
yeah.
pressure anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the vapor freezes.
Yeah, because at that point it will be over a huge ass volume,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
So it doesn't really create ice because frozen vapor is
No, it creates snow.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah.
oddly.
Yep.
These are the things you learn by watching Sound Goblin streams.
Or
We like to make sound goblins being boring and educational.
Would you like to know about bananas and plantains?
Fuck, not again.
Because they are the same thing, but also not the same thing. Because,
Depends who you ask.
in this case, Wikipedia was more accurate than Encyclopedia Britannica.
So I was busy looking up what happens to water in space. Did we get enough minerals to,
we reached stage 2, yes.
Yeah.
maybe pick
watched-
up the stage 2?
Got the ability that shields can exist.
Ah, okay.
Could you send up some Prozac? I mean, it's
Oh, yes. I'm the great pretender.
$262. So not even halfway there.
No, it increases every time.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Why, space? What did we ever do to you?
Alright, so important note. Apparently don't go up from the planet, because fuck you.
Oh.
Apparently don't go direction.
Alright, this is a message from Earth 2 to all colonists. I don't know how you guys
boy.
recreated
God.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. There we go.
But knock it off. We are not deciding our new government via card game.
But it's on motorcycles.
No.
And yes, as you can see, it does keep any materials we deposited
Okay.
and whatever stage we're at. I'm not going that way again.
Does it? Looks like it regenerates there around us, though, so.
Yeah.
God, I hope so. So,
Yeah, there's walls now.
I mean, for good and bad.
Space walls.
This confuses me greatly, but
Yes, again, I have no idea how walls work in space, but they're there. Don't ask questions.
Look,
Well-
obviously the Sorceress's plan worked and we compressed all of time and space into a two-dimensional plane.
Shut up. Oh, FF8 was dumb.
still better than 7.
I'm not arguing that. That's not saying much. I mean, at least 7's plot was moderately understandable. We're going to drain the energy of the planet to power our things because we're corporate, as opposed to we're going to compress all of time into a single moment for reasons.
Well, if you want to roll all of space-time, you might as well make it all in the same place. It makes it easy.
No, that's dumb.
Your idea's bad, you should feel bad.
Oh, I'd like to see you stop me. You and your lovable orphans.
One of whom is me and all other sorceresses, because all sorceresses are the same.
Oh, God. Well, that was unwise.
That's what bounce
God.
patterns do, by the way.
They forcibly boost you.
Yep,
In a very specific direction.
whatever direction they're pointing.
That's
Yep.
pointing.
Slightly less screwed.
I mean, still very screwed, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tokyo drifting through space.
I mean, if we're being real, Final Fantasy in general is dumb. It's just varying degrees of dumb.
How is this forgotten area? It's 5 feet away from your home base.
As we always said we were going back to it, and then we forgot.
Did you miss my comment about how literally everybody else in our civilization are a bunch of fucking incompetents?
Card games on motorcycles!
Okay, screw our civilization. We're joining that one. They made a giant-ass spaceship the size of several galaxies. I don't care about the janitor at that point.
Screw it, they're dangerously.
Whee!
Ow.
It's fine.
My
We're
face.
fine.
And for your hubris.
I mean, we don't have any materials anyways.
This is true. We found absolutely nothing of use.
See, we were rewarded by getting research.
It's cool, we're good.
7 materials. You're
And
welcome,
back to
home
full.
base.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now to wander off into the less dangerous parts of space, which will
maybe.
be, considering where we're in, can't be more dangerous.
Oh, it can be.
It can be equally dangerous, like that.
You had to
So
say
they-
something.
They don't do as much damage, but they don't break.
A, they don't break, and B, they do actually bounce you off
Yes,
of them.
yes, they do.
Which kind of sends you hurtling in directions that sometimes you don't want to go.
At least most of them are stationary, except the ones that aren't, like that one. Just moving.
It's orbiting.
Orbiting what?
Mm.
Each other? I mean, they're wholly hilarious, but
Who put these here?
the same people who built walls in space. And cigar
Space
cutter.
dictator Donald Trump.
We're gonna build a wall.
Hillary said you couldn't build a wall in space. A wall in space was a dumb idea, but what does she know? I built a wall. It was the best wall.
I don't have a lot of material in it. There's some very rapidly spinning. Oh, they hit rocks too.
Oh yeah, yes, they do in fact hit rocks. Ow!
You're not welcome in this neighborhood.
And fuck your momentum.
Throw a rock at him.
Shoot the spinball zone bumpers at him. Yes, we've repelled him nicely.
Yeah, I think there's just more resources as you go out. Further.
Maybe.
Or something.
It's randomly generated. That's the thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a rock.
Right in the ass.
Rock.
It'd be great if we could find a shield model now that we know shields.
So what does shields do?
Provide shields.
Presume they're a hit point that gets wrecked by smashing into things as opposed to using up our fuel. I mean, there's a shield bar next to it.
Yeah, and they do recharge. That's about all I know about them. I don't think I've ever gotten a shield.
Ah. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
This would be devastating if they actually did good damage, but
It's the pinball section space. Some of those clusters, those were pretty tight. I imagine there are cases where you can just get like.
Oh yeah, you can definitely get trapped in an endless loop
Ruined.
of death.
yeah. Just bounce back and forth between like two of them or something.
Certainly not speaking from personal experience.
Whee! This seems like an okay idea.
Skybox and birds. In the skybox, in my dream world, little birds, they fly so high, looking down through the clouds, not to be found. Attached to the wings are cotton threads so thin, knotted to paper sheets with tightly written dreams.
So in answer to your question as to why we're the only ones out here doing it is, would you want this guy on your fucking planet?
His death scribbles and his bad poetry.
The vector zone.
Vector zone.
This way.
Sure.
Make.
Make.
Anything like Nanu?
Wow.
Yep.
Ah, this is where we put the space down.
Space dog. Oh, there's those ones that don't.
Okay,
They just bounce.
Ow. Ow.
Ow. Oh god.
It's good. We're fine. It's cool. Everything's okay.
A thing.
We found a research.
Oh.
Hooray! Do we have to deposit that, or is it just
No, it's just there.
Okay.
I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Call girl vulture?
So 10% extra chance to find items on explorations,
Or
or sun neutralizer.
this item finds the closest sun and neutralizes it.
Yep. So in 40 minutes, there will be a chance for sun neutralizers to begin spawning.
Okay, that's how long it takes to start up.
Yes, research actually takes time to do, and also has a space points cost, which is part of why I haven't been spending space points on getting different ships to use. Because A, it's per launch, so if a ship costs like 12,000, it costs 12,000 every time you want to use it.
Yeah.
The ability to travel to nether space.
And also,
Perhaps almost
generally better to just save your space points for research.
Now to hang around here so we're not dead.
There we go.
And
Whee!
Yeah, I think we've been here already.
yep.
The moon.
Whang!
Alright, we're clear.
Whee!
Ow. That one did damage.
We did ram into it at full speed.
A spider!
Oh, space spider.
Get the spider!
Greetings. You have found the celestial arachnid.
Spider was full of fuel. I'm not sure if that's more or less horrifying. Seems to be a cold world down there. Could be interesting to see what these clouds are hiding, though. Should I land on this dwarf planet?
Choose A.
Sure, why not?
Oh, we're not dead.
Nope. Rocket.
We'll die.
It costs resources to rock it.
Yes, it does.
I thought rocking was free. Or boost.
No.
Yeah, it won't actually let me.
Oh. Did find the great spider though.
Yeah, it does take some resources to boost. It just doesn't take as much as it would to normally accelerate that distance or speed.
I found the great spider.
Home base.
Yep.
Whee!
Yeah, see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what actually took a bunch of our resources when we hit that wall, not actually the damage from it.
Yep.
The research is that.
Privileged. It strikes me. We did it. We really did. I am privileged.
You're privileged.
All these people showing off their privilege.
Oh, actual resources.
Materials, yes.
Yeah. And rocks. Hooray.
And that rock did have a lot of materials in it.
Thing.
Style.
Yep.
Rare
Rare
stuff.
style.
Oh, there's a chunk of material.
That one looks like a plane.
That one looks like a green dot.
Ah,
That's blinking.
No place for me.
yeah, we're still pretending.
I will never find my place among the living again. That I know. And I know that I one day will have to leave. But I'm a damn good pretender.
Ow.
Yep, time to head home.
Yep.
Yep.
Hopefully not die horribly on the way.
There wasn't much in the way of obstacles. I mean, there's a sun, but eh.
Rock.
It's fine, I was adjusting speed to avoid it. Despite all appearances, I mostly know what I'm doing in this game. God knows I've put enough hours into it.
Just gotta follow this rock all the way home.
Hey guys, I brought back a pet rock.
Oh, not
no!
again!
There go the dinosaurs again.
Oh, can't believe I did this
Nobody's playing
twice.
tennis.
Must have been playing tennis.
Let's say again.
I have this great idea, guys. Let's go play tennis on a cruise ship.
In a storm.
Stage 3.
Sure.
What's that?
I was just reading the code over there.
Oh,
Ah,
what's the code over there?
Yeah. Programming language to say that space is infinite. We'll do moons.
Moons.
moons, the most treacherous
do
of
moons
celestial
do?
bodies.
Create the possibility for moons to exist, which is just more celestial bodies for us to run into.
Ah, okay. I presume that planets that we run across... That's a fighter jet. I presume that planets that we run across may now have moons.
Yeah.
We really did.
Yes. You have a problem with the fighter jet in space?
Makes as much sense as spider.
I get the feeling that we're not actually in space.
We are.
Space is full of giant spiders, right? And that wasn't a fighter jet, that was Starscream?
Who has failed us for the last time?
Again?
Always.
Starscream, you have failed me for the last time. Again.
On Jupiter.
Ow. Ow.
Ow. On the one hand, this is kind of bad. On the other hand, it's kind of hilarious.
I mean, it's not that bad. That we took like 15 damage total through that whole thing.
They don't really do that much damage, mostly. The real damage they do is like the change of momentum, really.
Yeah.
And significantly more dangerous rocks. Need of a new helmet. I think.
Another century. This is a skilled century of raspberries.
So if we hit our acceleration.
There it goes.
Yep.
Oh,
No.
Ow.
see you later, boys.
Yep. That's alright.
Is that an item find one?
What are the
Yes,
options?
item finding, but
What are the options we have here? Experience boost, item finding,
Yeah.
plus 75% item finding.
Might as well attempt to find a shield or something.
I mean we won't, but
No, but
One can dream.
as I drifted through the vast emptiness of space, I realized this is neither vast nor empty. Okay, it's kind of vast.
The night is dark and full of knickknacks.
more than vast. That code snippet says that it's infinite.
There are random words floating all about. And bumpers.
Whee! Oh god, why?
The wolf whirl.
Yep.
The saga of dreams of the future. That's a thing.
That is a thing.
Oh.
Ah, another custom.
You see every so often in the California deserts.
The common customs. Acceleration and max speed. We'll replace that one.
Yeah.
Better acceleration. Again.
Hooray.
Every so often you get wolf whales, which are just giant whirlpools of wolves in the desert. Driven by an instinct they neither understand nor can fight.
That's another thing.
Restlessness.
Ah, a diary pod.
Because the restlessness can be devastating. Make it easy to avoid.
So diary pods are things that float around in space and are full of poetry.
Oh.
In case you didn't get enough poetry with this game.
There's like 6.8
Alright.
gigabytes in here. How much shitty poetry did you write?
6.8 gigabytes.
It's a little notepad
A
too.
broken engine. Protoss Dragoon.
My life for ire. Oh, thank God we found the normal constellation.
Healing
And
orb.
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
You know, if you say its name 3 times, it appears next to you, and then the world burns.
Well, that sure was a thing.
Huh. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no actual speed run in this game. Although I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't think there would be. It is sort of antithetical to speedrunning.
I mean, you have objectives. You can try and do them fast.
And fail hilariously.
Yes.
Also, kind of the whole point of the game is to be chill.
Well, that may be true.
Oh, hold on.
My eyes!
I went to action for points into.
Yep.
Finding items? I don't know.
Yes. Not because of item find. It's actually because this is materials bonus. We also get a skill at this point.
Oh.
Oh.
So we can either do Star of the North, which collecting stars gives you a small amount of resources, or Star of the South, collecting stars gives you double amount of space points. So you don't actually care that much about space points,
Let's look at
Yeah.
all these.
Not dying actually helps get more space points as well.
essentially.
I'm out somewhere.
We are way the hell far away from home planet.
Yes.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Now to lazily drift all the way back. I mean, not that lazily. We're actually moving hella fast, but
Data insult to injury, this thing only has a dot matrix printer, too.
And it prints up every single crappy poem it makes.
Burn. He crushed his own dream world. That's like super deep.
Sure, I'm glad we took that teleport gate out here
Yeah,
to nowhere.
We had the option for a teleporter, we had to take it.
Yep.
There was nothing out here, though.
Nope.
No. You didn't even bother spawning things out here, apparently.
They'll never make it this far out. What if they take a teleport gate? Oh, what now?
Who programmed those in the game? You did. Oh.
I mean, if you're asking, there's only two of us. If I didn't program it, you didn't program it.
The confusion. Who programmed teleporters?
It was me, Zoidberg.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't put like anything out here. It's not even generating stuff around us.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is more accurate to space. That is exactly what this game would be like if, yep. Now to drift.
Yep.
So two guys walk into a bar and say, ow.
Yeah, you'd think the second one would have seen it.
Yeah.
So a newspaper walks into a bar.
I spy with my little eye something white.
Star?
Yes.
Haha! I spy with my little eye something that is blue.
Is it another star?
No.
Is it the UI?
Yes.
I've got no talent and I'm sad.
Hit the buttons to continue drift through space.
Just letting him finish reading, man. Not being rude.
So continue reading and hit the button.
Yeah, but the text won't be there.
Look, we are collectively an AI installed to make him stop writing and start working.
Going straight up, apparently.
Pretty much. You can see here we're at 0, -17, so...
Yeah. We should be fine up until the point where we get to normal space. And there we go.
We're in the normal
Okay, now we're in the part of space where they remembered to spawn it.
for a moment. The stars are resources, so...
Thing.
Yep, that was a thing.
It's an aura.
That we can't use.
So it's for the...
The Scottish cruiser.
Yep.
Sophisticated aura of matter.
Auras of matter. Why?
Take it!
No, I'm just spawning it and leaving.
Okay.
Because the other option was the phase jumper, which sends us on a boost in a random direction.
Ooh.
That's a
Yeah.
Sora.
That is a bunch of resources.
Yep.
Yep.
Did we put a sun next to the home base?
Huh? No.
We're probably regenerated since we
Went so far out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's probably a good place to call it for now. So that's
Yeah.
been RymdResa. It's a chill game, easy, nice time to relax with. Eventually, in theory, you get enough materials to actually complete like all 9 stages here, and then move on to chapter 3, which something happens in. I don't know. I've never actually been there.
Salt of the Space Fighters.
So, thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you had a good time watching along with RymdResa. And we'll be back next week. Probably going to be with Vince doing Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight.
Yes.
So,
Alright.
look forward to it. See you guys then.
See ya.
See ya.
Have a good one, everyone.